Okay, we're recording. Thank you guys for coming to our Brave Babble tonight. Before we get started, I just want to remind all the men that are on here, and if you have a man in your life who either works the business with you or he may need a little bit of encouragement, maybe he's not even on board yet, on Thursday night, same time, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Nate and Daniel Head are going to together do our first men's call, which is super exciting because we have so many men joining our family. It's so fun. So, but we're going to, I think that's all I'm going to say right now. And I'm going to pass it right on over to Amanda and Daniel. And I want y'all to start. I didn't tell you this, but if you'll to briefly tell your story to everyone, Amanda and Daniel, like briefly before you get into everything. Most of you know that Amanda was my very first team member 4 years ago. It was really fun. Yesterday, she made a post about a coffee cup I sent her 2 years ago. It said, "Be brave." And it was like, "Happy 2 years anniversary." You know, I'm super, I don't know what I said. But then it said, "I can't wait to see where we are in 2 years." And that was really fun to look at, to see what's happened in 2 years in my business and in her business, and just everyone in Brave family, where we've come from, where we're at now. So, Amanda and Daniel, I'm going to mute myself, and you can we'll unmute you, and you can share a little bit of your story and get right on into the topic.
Are you starting or I'm starting?
No, you.
Okay. Daniel and I signed up with Cassie in January of 2014.
Hang on, let me start.
Oh, okay, never mind. Just kidding.
So we are Amanda and Daniel Head. We have been together like forever. I met her when she was like 15.
Be
I was
careful.
21.
Be careful.
And no, I'm just kidding. Been together for a long, long time. Been married 17 years. And she started this.
Hold on. I think we should tell everyone.
Okay, go for it.
No, we should let Daniel tell everyone.
You really should let Shannon tell everyone.
That's awesome.
Cassie didn't know how to treat a man back then.
So Daniel used to date Cassie sometimes. They broke up every day. And so then I started dating Daniel, and here we are, many, many years later. So
You skipped a few things, but whatever.
Yeah, just a few. So I started selling Scentsy in January of 2014, and Daniel didn't really care one way or the other as long as I didn't just waste $100. And so my goal initially was to earn my $100 back. So I hit my shooting star and then hit level 2 of Sensational Start. And congrats to everyone who hits level 3, by the way, because that's a really difficult task when you're starting out. And then I went from there. I had a team, and I did all the stuff, and I loved it, and I went to family reunion. And then last year.
By the way, I enjoyed those trips too, as the husband, not as a person involved in Scentsy.
Yeah, he went to whenever they released the diffusers was when he started.
Vegas.
He expressed some interest in it, and he was just wowed by the company. And he likes to hear like Orville and Heidi talk and everything, but he really didn't care one way or the other. So last year, for about a year and a half, I hit Star Consultant and did that for a couple months, and then kind of fell away from everything, and had a lot of discouragements that I allowed to decide what I was going to do. And then last year I skipped Scentsy family reunion, and it was awful.
We went to Arkansas instead.
We did have fun as a family, but I watched all of you who were there go, and it was really sad because I missed everyone, and I know how amazing that is. So and it's just it's a wonderful thing. If you can go to SFR, you need to go to SFR.
So anyways, to fast forward to like December of this last year.
It was the end of October.
It was the end of October.
When you paying, was it the end of October?
November. Yeah, my first check in November.
She's like,
When me and Shannon promoted.
She was like, yeah, I'm just going to pay the mortgage this month with Scentsy. And I was like, what? You know, what do you mean you're going to pay the mortgage? Our mortgage ain't cheap.
Remember, if you ever say anything about income, you have to include the income disclosure. So I guess we need to put that somewhere.
Yeah, income disclosure, here you are. So anyways, I kind of got interested in that. I was like, what do you mean you're going to pay the mortgage? And so I kind of was like, wow, wait a minute, this is a legitimate business. I mean, my wife works full time. I work full time, and there's a Cincy business that's been hanging around for a couple of years, and now it's paying the mortgage. So it really got my attention, and I started paying attention and actually have full-fledged gone into this thing for the last few months. And it's amazing to see what our business has done in the last few months. And I'm not trying to take credit for that. I'll take half the credit for it, but our business has really blown up in the last three or so months. So
yeah, definitely. Daniel even downloaded like the little website shortcut to his phone so he can check the workstation every morning, and he's like tracking
13
numbers
times a day.
It's a whole new site, and it's a learning site. Yeah, and he does like live videos on our team page, and I mean,
well, this is the thing. I had never looked at the business side of Cincy, like the actual numbers and, you know, who's active, who's not active, PRV, GWV. Had no clue what any of that was. Had never even seen it. All I saw were boxes I was carrying in the house, you know. So once I saw how the business worked, I immediately saw how lucrative this business could be. And so kind of segueing into what we're going to talk about tonight, we saw how successful our business could be with the both of us working it. And so as we started to try to work our business, we ran across Richard Sisk and Shannon Sisk. And I know them. They're wonderful people, but had never even thought about them joining Cincy or whatnot. Yeah, Eric and Karina were great too. But the Shannon and Richard kind of caught us by surprise, because they actually, I mean, Richard was like, hey, I'll sell Cincy. And it was like, what? What are you talking about? I watched this guy. I'm not going to say what he does or anything. I just watched him accomplish some amazing things in our community in the last 2 years. I mean, this is a guy, he's a go-getter. You know, he's one of those guys, you know, you say, hey, Richard, go sell 5 Cincy Goes and don't come home till you do it. And he comes home having sold 5 of those, you know. So when he was like, hey, I'll do it, it was like, whoa, you know.
his exact question was, how do I become an affiliate of Cincy?
Yeah. So, I mean, that was a game changer for us. And then, you know, Eric and Karina jumped in, and holy cow, they
hit level 3 of Sensational Start in
37 days. And to be honest with you, in my opinion, they didn't even really work it that hard. So
Taco's got it going on.
Tell Karina put the knife up. I'm just kidding. So we recognized really quick that couples are powerful. We're Christians, you know. We know that God's plan for the family was a husband and a wife. And if you get into the Bible, and I won't get into all that today, but it really talks about how you go from 2 to 1. So the world that we live in, it really does its best just to try to tear us apart. And it's amazing what we can accomplish when we come together as one and work together. So what we want to start off tonight with is sharing with you how we work our business as a couple. And I see some men in there. Nance, I see you, buddy. I see you. I saw one somewhere else. Where's he at? Eric. Yeah, Eric, where's your wife at? All right. She ain't got no makeup on. Take that camera away. I'm just kidding. So, hey, man, just a little shout out for our talk tomorrow night.
Scott.
If you're not there, Scott, hey, man, come see us tomorrow night. We got some good stuff for you.
Thursday night, not tomorrow.
Let's jump in so we don't take all night. How we work our business together as a couple. The first thing is, what does she do well? What do I do well? I'm going to start first. Amanda, she's an organizer. I mean, like OCD organizer. She's our timekeeper. You know, it's like, hey, we got a party in 30 minutes, and I'm a firefighter too, so my tone goes off, and she's like, you can't go right now. We got to go to a party. I'm like, but it's in our front yard. I got to go out there and do that. So she keeps us on time. She keeps our parties going. she is, I've got on here, she's the bookkeeper because she is the one who puts in the orders. She can play around, 2 bars over here, 3 bars over here, 12 bars over here, and get like, a couple 6-packs and do all those numbers. And she's amazing at that. She delivers product. I will every now and then, but for the most part, she's the one hauling this product to our customers. One thing that she's really at is the goal maker. This girl has planners. I don't know how many planners she has, but she can sit down. She was sitting down with Eric. We were on our way to Shreveport this morning, and by the time we left Texas and got into Shreveport, she already had Eric and Karina this whole list of goals for like the next 6 months. So
it's their how to get to Mexico goals.
So she's the goal maker. She's also the motivator. I'll say some crazy stuff like, I'm going to sell 5 goes this week. And, instead of being like, no, why don't you do 2, man? She motivates me to do it. And she'll call me or send me a message throughout the day encouraging me, seeing how I'm doing with that. She also sells. I'm going to tell you here in a minute that I'm the power salesman, but, man, she's just steady. She's got her clients. She follows up with them. She messages them. And then she goes above and beyond to make sure they get what they need, and also introduces new products to them. I'm not that guy. I find the certain things that I like, and that's what I try to sell. She knows that catalog in and out. She knows the prices. She knows the specials. She knows how to bundle stuff. I'm not that guy. So she does that really, really well.
Okay, so what Daniel does well is exactly the opposite of me. He wants to know the goals, but he's not a goal maker. So if I tell him, hey, we need to sell 2,000 PRV, we're going to make that goal because he makes goals. He will work them. He does them well. Daniel is great at talking to anybody. I'm not so great at talking to anybody. I'm an extroverted introvert. So by nature, I don't want to initiate conversation with people. Daniel does not care, and he will talk to anybody about anything and will always lead it to whatever it is he wants to talk about. So with Scentsy, with him being on board with me, it's extremely helpful because he jumps in and leads their conversation to Scentsy somehow. And it's a beautiful thing, and I don't have that in me. I try to learn from him because he is amazing at it. Whether it's selling, joining, booking parties, it doesn't matter. He is so good at that. And so he's not scared to talk to people. He went into, would you go into the gas station the other day, or a restaurant?
Yeah,
burrito place.
Yeah, taco shop.
Yeah, a taco shop, and just talked to people that were sitting at a table, and then somebody who wasn't even sitting at the table came to his shop a few hours later and bought a Scentsy Go because he heard him talking to these other people. He's very good at that. I have to like when I drive up to the bank and I'm going to talk to the lady about Scentsy, I have to force it. It's like a forced activity for me, and he is just amazing at that. Daniel is a power salesman. He could sell you, I'm going to not use cuss words here, but he can sell you anything. He's very good at it, and he is very convincing, and he's just...
I got turds for sale. They're all organic. This stuff is good stuff. He
can sell you anything.
So we complement each other, and that's kind of what we've been talking about. She's kind of more quiet and reserved. I just don't care. I'll talk to anyone, anywhere, anytime. I don't know all of the details about products. And of course, when I'm asking someone to spend $150 on some products, a lot of times they have questions. I don't know all the answers to those, but she does. I consider myself more the power salesman. She gives me a goal, man. I'll go get it done. She kind of lets the product sell itself. She's patient. I'm impulsive, but we are both extremely goal-driven. And sometimes she gives me rewards when I achieve my goals.
And that's in his notes.
So right there, the last couple minutes we've been talking, this is some of the advantages to working together as a couple. We all bring different things to the table, but also when you're recruiting couples, they bring another dynamic to your team. So the next thing that we want to tell you is that we actually enjoy each other. I told you the world does everything it can to pull us apart between our kids and school and baseball and gymnastics. And I mean, you name it, over and over. Everything has been designed to pull us apart. And, most of the couples we know, they don't get to spend very much. I mean, they fall in bed at night exhausted and fall asleep. That's their time together. We enjoy spending time with one another. So this business actually works out great for us. I enjoy seeing her happy. Sometimes she gets like a little kid, like, oh my gosh, we got another team member. Or, oh my gosh, we hit our 2,000 PRV for the month. Or, oh my gosh, we hit 5,000 GWV. She gets so excited, and that just makes me really happy. And every now and then she gets excited, or it's like disbelief. I'll tell her something that I achieved, and she'll just be like, no way. And that makes me feel good. So we enjoy spending time with one another. Another thing that we really enjoy is traveling together. We've always been travelers. We both grew up in big families that didn't take vacations, that, our big trip was to the local Walmart, and you better not touch anything. So, for us to be adults now, we get to travel with Cincy so far. We went to Vegas. We've been to Shreveport. Whoopee. Uh-oh, there goes Richard. Our fire department just got a call. Hey, Richard. So we've been to Vegas. We've been to Shreveport. We went to Tennessee a couple of years ago, and we as a family, we've actually made that like an 8-state trip.
Yeah.
That was an amazing time in Nashville. We went to Arlington last week. We're going to Europe here in a couple months. We're going to Mexico in January. Where else did I leave out? Where else have we gone? That's all with Cincy. We also like to use Cincy as an excuse to go to South Texas to see Cholo Taco. Really, anywhere we go, we use Cincy as a way to do that. And we love traveling. Our kids love to travel. So, again, a great way to spend time with one another, a good excuse to do it. So that's all I got on that. You got anything to say about that? Tell them how much you enjoy me.
You're going to California. Just thought I'd throw that out there.
Yes, for SFR. I'm not missing another one, y'all.
Yay.
That was awful. So
That's
I'm not
if it doesn't
that.
fall off first.
There are people from California.
Oh, love California people. Love it.
We do love California, actually. My sister's moving back there in June, so I'm very excited about that. As far as enjoying Daniel, I can't wait to tell y'all the day that I get to quit my job, and this is what we do all the time, because I love him that much, and I actually love spending time with him. I love how he can just like make anything happen, no matter what the goal is. He can make it happen, and he is better for me because of that. Our next topic, those are all the reasons we do Cincy together and what it does for us. Now we're gonna do why do we try to recruit couples, and this is a newer thing for us because our first couple was Eric and Karina, and then Shannon and Richard after that, and Angela and Robert. But we have learned a few things about couples and learning through ourselves as well. Daniel and I do work really well together. We've been married forever. We've been together forever, so we kind of know each other well enough to just do well together. But we've learned, number one, that two heads are better than one, pun intended. So, but seriously, two people, my daughter's laughing at us, two people working towards the same goal, you bring a whole new aspect to the idea of whatever it is you're working towards. You have a new creativity, new ideas, and Daniel can tell me maybe where I need to fix things, and I can tell him what I think about whatever he's doing. And it's just,
sometimes I'll come in and she's been racking her brain over something, and it's like, I mean, just automatically for me, hey, why don't you go at it like this? Right. And she's like, oh my gosh, why did I think of that? Yeah. By the way, that normally happens the other way around.
But it still happens.
So definitely two people involved in one goal is obviously way better than just one. It's easier to achieve goals when there's two of you. Sometimes we get tired. I come home tired, and I need that encouragement to be able to keep going. she comes home worn out with a headache. She needs to go, take some pills and lay down. I can pick up whatever needs to be done. Hey, she had a Facebook Live party that she needed to do, and she was sick. So I was able to jump right in, man. We didn't have to cancel that party. That party ended up turning out to be like almost $500.
He went and did one for me, like for one of our teammates'
hey,
launch party.
Is Elizabeth on here? Okay. Hey, I went to Longview to this gated neighborhood, these like $1 million houses, and drank wine with these uppity, higher age women and had a blast. By the way, that party turned out to do pretty good. That's something that and she's one of our team members. She would have been on her own, her very first party. But Amanda was sick. Hey, I jumped in there. So I'm able to fill the gap for her. When we recruit couples and they learn together and they enjoy the business, they can help each other out. Hey, some of you moms, man, I don't know how y'all do it, man, between working full time, trying to take care of the kids, the house, the laundry, the dogs. I mean, you need some help. And like I said, I recognize that. I wish I would have done it 4 years ago, but I'm doing it now. So working together to achieve goals is definitely easier with two people that are after the same thing. Me and Amanda, we both love to see couples achieve success. Being able to watch Richard and Shannon get excited, being able to watch Eric and Karina sometimes I think they blow their own minds. Lisa and Marcus.
It's the most fun for me to be able to watch them do those things. Like I find almost more joy in their achieving goals than I do ours.
Hey, we're getting phone calls, not from one person. I mean, we're getting phone calls from husband and wife saying, hey, what are we needing to do here? Or what does this mean? And that's freaking awesome. So, because that means they're spending time together and they're learning together and they're growing together. By the way, those teams that devote that time to it, they're going to be successful. And then the last thing that we want to hit on why do we try to recruit couples, and I'm just going to use Arlington as an example. Look, we were sitting in the lobby at the Hilton there on Saturday evening. We had Richard and Shannon with us. We had Robert and Angela Latham with us. We had a couple of Nikki and
Courtney was there.
Courtney was there. Was Courtney there?
Was there.
Yeah. Look, hey, that was amazing. For those of you guys that were there sitting, we sat in the lobby and then we walked over and we had dinner. Some of us had dessert. Man, I enjoy those times, and I enjoy them. I'm able to not just talk to one person. I'm able to talk to a family, to a unit, and that's great. Another thing that I really enjoy, and I didn't put this in with our couples or in my notes, but reproachableness has been one of the toughest lessons I've ever had to learn in life. And basically what that means is putting myself in a compromising position. So if I am, just talking to one person, let's say it may be a female, I get uncomfortable because I don't like that I'm in that compromised position. But if I have a question or some advice or something like that, man, I can call the guy and I can be like, hey, dude, you need to be aware of this. You need one more person to go active. You need this much more in sales, and you're going to promote. And I don't have to worry about being in that compromising position. Again, on the other hand, Amanda, she can call the woman and just chit-chat away about whatever. So that's just for me just a major reason to have couples and actually have the couples working together. I can holler at Nate. We were emailing each other today, and I'm not even worried about it. You know what I mean? So same with Lisa and Marcus. Karina, I'd call her, but she never answers my phone calls. I don't blame her.
She answers mine, though.
But anyways, we enjoy traveling with folks and hanging out with people, and I love that I can be not putting myself in a reproachable situation. So
that wasn't in the notes. That was a freebie, y'all.
Yeah, that's a tough lesson I learned in life, so it's important to me. All right, the last thing we want to talk to you guys and share with you tonight is how we recruit couples. First of all, I will tell you, we love it when they just fall down right in front of us like Richard and Shannon Sis did. but that's only like happened once. So the first thing we do is talk to them. You know, I'll talk to the guy. Amanda will talk to the woman. We'll talk to them together. We think it's important to show them. I put ourselves.
I say show them how it works. People know, if you're friends with me on Facebook, you know that, or in personal life, you know that Daniel and I do this together. Like everyone can see that, and that's important. So we talk to them when we show them how we work our business.
We also brand ourselves together on our business cards. You know, it says Daniel and Amanda Head, Cincy. It's got our pictures. You know, people know that they can order from me. They also know they can order from her. For some reason, they don't like giving me their money. They want to give it to her. I don't know what's up with that. But, you know, we talk to them. We try to show them the business. Like I said, there's some things that men are more interested in that, you know, I'm not a wax and warmer person. I'm not going to try to sell wax and warmers. So I can share that aspect of the business with a man, tell him how awesome a go is, how easy it's been for me to sell those. I can also talk money to him. You know, for us in East Texas, the successful men I see they're mostly in the oil and gas industry, you know, and some of these folks are making $250,000 a year. So how do I talk somebody who's making that kind of money into coming into Cincy? You know, how do I do it? You know, I got one of them. I just flipped a party that he had and got him and his wife on board, and man, they're killing it. And like he said, he's not even worried about the money. He just enjoys selling the product. He likes kind of the thrill of the hunt. But we were able to show them the business, and then they're still learning. We were on the phone with them yesterday answering questions.
So first we talk to them, and then we show them ourselves. We brand ourselves. We show them what Cincy has done for our family, because it's done a lot of things. Financially, it does good for our relationship. Our kids do this with us. So like we involve our children in the whole process. My daughters can sell you anything from Cincy. Natalie does it all the time.
Sometimes they go to a private school, and sometimes I'm worried I'm going to get a call from that lady in charge of the school and be like, hey, your child's soliciting up here and you need to come pick them up.
She even made her own Cincy slime product.
By the way, sold that director of the school of Cincy Go the other day.
And next thing, we show them the business aspect of Cincy, and I'm going to let you take this one because this was important.
Yeah, so again, for about 4 years, all I saw were boxes on the front porch. I'd see stuff come in. I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, man, I wonder how much that cost. So we both will try to show these folks the business aspect, because typically in a relationship, one of you is business minded and one of you may not be. In other words, one person pays the bills and the other one doesn't. So we try to identify who that is and sell the business side. You know, like I said, when you can get on your workstation and you can see the team and you can see who's selling and you can figure out, you know, kind of sort of how much income you're going to have off of what's going on, you know, that's important to one aspect of that team. Typically, the other part of the team is going to be more interested in the product and how good their house is going to smell and the good times that they're going to have with this product. So we have to, I'm going to use Lisa and Marcus as an example. They just hit lead yesterday. They've been selling for what? This is their second month. They hadn't even really been selling for like a full month, I don't think. They've already hit lead. Yesterday, finally, Marcus called and he's like, all right, tell me about this team. How do I get paid on this team? How much do I get paid? What do they need to do for me to get paid? And I told Amanda, I was like, finally, somebody in that relationship came at the business side.
But he's a math mind, so he needed to understand the percentages and all of that. And so right. I was able to jump in and help with that because I'm also a nerd. So I like the numbers.
Yeah. So again, just to recap where we are, we talk to them separate or together. We show them ourselves. We brand ourselves to them. When they see us, they know what we do. We show them and tell them what Cincy has done for our family, and we show them the business aspect of Cincy.
The next one we do, we want to feed on people's dreams and goals. I know what my couples, as they're my front line, my couples, I know what they want. I know, I mean, maybe not all of them, like some of them could be a little bit more open about it, but I know their dreams and goals with this. So when I'm talking to people, possibly new people that might be interested in joining our team, I want to know what their dreams and goals are. I want to know
Right.
what they want out of life. What do you want to see out of your life?
And that's really important. So we've got a total team of 32 right now. We've counting ourselves.
31.
All right, 31, my bad. After this month, it'll be 29 if some folks don't get busy. But they're not on here, so I guess that was wasted. So we've got some people on our team. They literally do this to pay their bills. That's important for me to know. We've got some other people on here who do this to cover their daycare. We got some people on here who do this just for the trips and the vacations. We've got some people who do this just because they literally love the product. It's really important for me as a sponsor to know what they're doing it for, what they're going after. And I tell people, I told somebody the other day, if you don't have a goal, you're wasting your time because you're never going to get anywhere because you don't want to go anywhere. So it's important for us to know what their dreams, what their goals are, and then we can come at them in a way that they could see Cincy being a way to fulfill those dreams and those goals. And that's really the last, next to the last thing we have to share with you tonight. You have to show them how Cincy can help them achieve their goals. There's several ways to do that. I mean, the first one way is just tell them how it's helped you achieve your goals. By the way, you have to have some goals in order to be able to show people this.
I would say to personalize it for them. So
Yes.
Cincy does a lot for me, but it may be completely different for my Shannons. Both of my Shannons have completely different goals, but I know what is better for each of them because I know what their goals are. So when I'm talking to new people that might be interested, I want to personalize it for them. How can it be involved in their life? Do they need more companionship, more friends? Do they want to hang out with us more? Do they need more money? What is their goal, and how can we personalize Cincy, the Cincy experience with them? And that's really important.
Yeah, that's right, Shannon. If you don't know where you're going, then it doesn't matter which path you take. What was it that Creeper said once? Come on, Lance.
Wherever you go, there.
Wherever you go, there you are.
I think Zig Ziglar also said that.
So,
First.
look, you know, knowing people helps, but if you don't know them, if you do a good job of branding yourself, if you do a good job of finding out what their dreams and their goals are, and by the way, the best way is just to ask them, where do you want to be in 5 years? What are some things you want to do that you've never done before? Where are some places you want to go that you haven't been? Those are the type of questions you can ask to kind of get to know these folks. The last thing, and I think it's probably the most important, is you got to back up what you sell. And really that's, you know, I tell people that my favorite thing about Cincy is the relationships that we build. You know, you can't fill these people full of garbage. Get them to sign up and then, you know, have nothing to back it up with. If you do that, in 3 months, they're not even going to be on your team anymore, and you're sitting back at square number one. So you got to back up what you sell, not just in the relationships that you're building, but also in the product that you're selling. And then probably one of the most important things that we have really found that we enjoy in life is investing in others, getting to see people accomplish those goals. Watching my sister, how excited she is when, you know, she gets, you know, I call her the hustler. She'll go out and get like $1,500 in sales in one day. And just listening to the accomplishment in her voice when she's telling me that she did this. And you got to invest in folks. It takes time, and time is the one thing that we can't get back. But, man, the dividend that you get in return is so worth it. So back up what you sell and invest in their lives. by the way, if you can get those guys on your team, man, your business is going to blow up. Any questions?
Thank y'all. If y'all have any questions, put them in the comments and let them answer. One of the things I want to touch on real fast was how you said it's hard. What does that say? Okay. Okay. You said, okay, it was one of them, show them the business side of it, like whatever. And it made me think, gosh, I really failed y'all in 4 years, but I didn't show you the business side of it. But I remember, not really, I'm just kidding. But like, I remember the end of, or like the beginning of November or something, and you came to me and you specifically asked me the business portion, and you wanted to know like what, pretty much what I made. Because Daniel needed to see that. Daniel needed to see that after 4 years that this really wasn't just what. Yeah.
Because for 4 years I've been making anywhere from $0 to $300. I think my highest
a $43 paycheck just didn't. It doesn't spark my interest. I would pay $43 to sit on the couch and watch TV. So, you know, it wasn't really until that first big payday that I was like, whoa.
But you got to work to get there. You don't just wake up.
And by the way, Amanda has known the business aspect of it. I've just never, like I said, I've never even, nothing has drawn my interest to it.
I think a lot of times people, and maybe men specifically, I'm going to try not to be like that, but maybe men specifically think it's a waste of time and money. I mean, I've done direct sales, right? We've done direct sales, Cassie and Nate, a couple of times, and it's
I want my money back.
It's been a waste of money and time, and you know, we just kind of like blew it. And so for me to do this with Cincy, it was kind of, are we doing the same thing?
Well, you know,
we weren't,
and
but
because of my past experiences with sales, Amway, you know, I just didn't understand, you know. I mean, we watched Cassie just roll on up, and it's like, okay, how does this even work? At what point, you know, well, I know now, but, you know, I didn't really understand it. And to be honest with you, didn't really care to understand it.
You didn't care until I said,
you know,
I'm paying the mortgage.
But like the last 2 nights in a row, I have dreamed about Cincy, and not the product. I'm like, okay, crunching numbers. How much am I going to have to do? Who do I need to motivate? How many more team members do we have to add? Man, I haven't been like that since I got out of the business world in 2012. So I'm kind of excited about it. But I wouldn't be if I didn't understand the business side of Cincy, seeing how important it is to grow your team, how important it is to have those front line, especially with goals. You know, if our goal is, I told Amanda earlier, you know, if we want to be a superstar director in 3 years, I want to know where Cassie's at right now. That way I know where to set my goals to be able to achieve what we need to do to get there. And, you know, 4 months ago, I wasn't even interested. So knowing the business is a big deal.
We're handing it back to you.
Yeah, that's kind of what I wrote down. I was like, it's hard to show the business unless you're asked. Because I'm never going to outwardly come out and say, well, this is what I made or anything like that. But I've always told people I'm an open book and I'll share with anyone to show what hard work does. What did you just say? I was going to piggyback on a superstar director. Oh, Amanda has been numerously asking me questions this month. I'll get random messages. How many frontline do you have? How many are active? And I don't even ask. I just answer because I know it's feeding her whatever it is they are doing and whatever it is they're trying to figure out. That's what she's doing. And you know, if you don't know them yet, you should go to their Facebook and follow them because this is a dynamic team that has been around as long as I have, who have went from a team of 9 November 1st to a team of 31 today. And they will be director this month. They are top sales on our team. Like, they will be a director team, and it's just amazing. And it's proof, guys, that you can do it. Like, you can do it. I love, and I'm so inspired. We are inspired. Maybe I'm a little more inspired. I'm like, babe, you see what Daniel's doing? You see what Daniel's doing? Like, it's inspiring. And so if you
see, Nate's tired of hearing about Daniel, okay?
I'm not. No, I just sit back in amazement, like some of the innovative, creative outside of the box ways he attacks things that I wouldn't think of. But she doesn't hit me with all the problems. Like, you know, you said he comes home and at the end of the day, you've got this problem you've been thinking about, and then he attacks it from a different angle, and you're like, "Why didn't I see that?" Well, you need to just give me more problems, man.
Sorry,
Give him
Sabrina.
problems.
I wondered why Sabrina's not on here.
I'm falling behind.
She just wrote me and said she's almost at my house. I'm like, dude, I'm on a call. So I'm giving her the code to get in. I know, because, well, you have to realize when you guys, so some of you may be watching, some of you guys, or some of you wives that your husbands maybe aren't on, and you're thinking, well, gosh, she sure lucked out. Or I wish my husband was like that. But you have to realize that everyone, I mean, and they have a very dynamic, what they have, I've already said that. But everything is different. Nate and I'm full-time this. You know, you guys know I stay home with my kids homeschool. Nate is off with me, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then he's at work, right? I can't never figure it out. He doesn't know how I don't know his schedule. It's only been this way for 2 years. But, you know, he's home those 3 days, and I was just telling him, I said, we need to make some goals together. He's like, we have some. I said, what are they? You know, like, I am the goal setter. So we're learning, and we're excited for this. And like Scott and Donna, my first frontline couple, listening to Amanda and Daniel, I'm like, shoot, I have failed them, you know, but these are people like you guys should be following, especially if you are looking at building couples. And it was amazing. I will say, in Arlington, I was so excited to see your team, and then getting to go there and hang out with them. And it was just a different dynamic and really neat to see. You want to add?
Hey, can I jump in real quick?
Yeah.
So let me tell you, since he came out with that new product, Cincy Go, and I really think that like Orville must have invented that, because it was definitely created for a man. The reason I say that is because, and don't take offense here, but the men, we have 11, 12 men on our team now, and they're selling the freaking crap out of these things. And who do you think they're selling them to? They're selling them to men.
But tell them how you're selling them to men.
So, like, I have a barbershop, and when somebody pulls up to my barbershop that I have a relationship with, I tell them, hey, is your truck unlocked? And they're like, yes or no. And I tell them to unlock their truck. And I go throw a Cincy Go in there. The first thing I ask is, do you like leather? Because I hate the leather. It stinks so bad. But if they like the leather, I throw that in to go, and I go turn it on and set it in their truck. And then I walk them out to their truck, and when they open the door, I haven't had a single person that hasn't expressed interest in buying one of those. But it doesn't, I mean, that's pretty bold of me to go do. The only reason I do that is because
I would never do that.
you know, some of these guys, I've been cutting their hair for 4 or 5 years. I know them. So, but what's crazy, in 4 or 5 years, I've never even mentioned Cincy to them. But men are buying these Goes because men stink. Ladies, can I get an amen? Men stink, and they know that they stink. And so these guys that are in their trucks all the time, and they got the Whataburger bags and the McDonald's bags and the old sweaty shirt, man, they want to smell good too. So the Goes, you know, yeah, I'm not trying to get all into it. I'm just saying that women, your man can sell Goes. They were designed for a man, strong enough for a woman, but they were made for a man. I'm just saying. So
That's awesome. Look, I'm looking over here at some of these comments. Someone said, people can only order so much at a time. How do you keep constantly going? For instance, where I live, there's so much competition. I just want to tell you that standing in my room right now, just walked in, is another director. And in like a 2-mile radius, there are 3 directors on our team. And even in East Texas, I don't know where you live, but East Texas is so huge with Cincy consultants, including another superstar director. And even when I was in East Texas last month, I was stopped 2 or 3 times because of the sticker on my car. And I passed them off to someone in East Texas. But I found that so crazy because I'm like, A, you've got a superstar director here. B, you've got another director, my mom. C, there's a lot of consultants there. You know, so
And it's a town of like 4,500.
Yeah, it's even
hey, so I was actually, this same question was brought to me just the other day. It's like, hey, you need to quit trying to get so many team members. We're going to flood the area, blah, 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 blah. And my response to him was, how many people live in 20 square miles of here? You know, well, the answer is like 8,000 people. You know, there's only 120,000 consultants in 11 countries around the world. You know, you can go out there and you can ask the first 100 people you see who their Cincy consultant is, and you may have 20 that give you a name. Well, there's 80 potential customers there. So, you know, the market's flooded. I don't buy it. I mean, statistically, do the math on your population.
Also, we as consultants really don't do very well with follow-up. Some people have way better systems, and we really need to I need to make sure I'm doing that because, and Cassie will probably take in just a minute, but the numbers are crazy of people who buy from you like once a year, actually, and that's ridiculous. People need Cincy every 2 or 3 months, maybe every month, depending on how much they bought, because, and if they're, just to use a popular phrase, if they're not getting it from you, they're getting it from somewhere, and it might be Walmart.
Hey, I'll make my point. Watch one of those people post a warmer, some wax on one of the garage sale sites and see how many people jump on that. Those are your customers out there.
Don't post on them.
And I was going to share, I can't find my planner, I had it, but one of the things last Tuesday night that Allison and Brian Donkey talked about was how they run their business, and they shared how, no, I don't know where it went. I was using it. Who knows? They were sharing how they focus on getting 5 new contacts every week. And y'all, I was like, you know what? I mean, I'm in a place, I need that. And I'll tell you why. Everyone's joined my team, I feel like. You get to a point like that, you feel like, holy cow, I'm recruiting all my customers, all my, friends. For a world tour, when I was looking for a babysitter, people were like, don't you have friends? I'm like, yeah, they're on my Cincy team. Like, legit, and it's a real problem. So, I mean, it's not really a problem. You get to that. And so when Allison and Brian said that last week, I was like, that's what I need to do. I need 5 new people to add to my customer base every single week. That's a lot for me. I don't like to leave my house. And today even, I finally left my house for homeschool group, and I chose to sit in a room by myself and follow up because I needed to work my personal business instead of going and engaging with other moms, because that's how I could meet new people. But when I looked at my list today, just this week, I've already gotten 3. I'm going to tell you where they came from. One girl found me online, and she told me that, she ordered online. I sent her a text message today in follow-up, and she thanked me. She added me on Facebook to get in my customer group and said her Cincy consultant quit. Don't know who she is. I don't even think she's in Florida. I don't know how she got me. Another person was just referred to me when I followed up with one of my customers today. Christine called me. Followed up, and she's like, hey, I have a man that needs a Cincy consultant. Can you please connect with him? I connected with him. He's in Vegas. He sent me his order to place for him. And my third one, Christine called me. Another lady. And she used to be someone else used to be their Cincy consultant. They quit a year ago, but I never asked this girl because I didn't have a relationship with her. So now I'm like, gosh, I only have 2 left for the week. I'm going, Another example, just because I saw her name on here, I have asked Christine Collin, stay away. Stay away. She goes to church with her. We don't go there anymore. Megan, stay away. I should have said her name. Okay. So I've tried to get this Nate's brother's fiance. I've tried to get her to join for quite some time, and she would always tell me no. Well, the other day I was like, girl, it's only $49. She's like, no, I don't think so. And then she messages me on Monday, and she's like, but I've got somebody else that wants to join. I was like, what? I didn't even ask. And guys, I know they were saying at the world tours, like, that's the way to do it. If you are too scared to ask people to join your team, message them and tell them, hey, I'm not on mute. I'm talking, actually. Sorry. If you are uncomfortable asking people, ask them for referrals. So she tells me she's got it. I message Katie right here and message very shortly. She's like, I'm in. I'm like, say what? Katie already had a qualified party before she even had her kit. Maybe in her first day, I don't remember. And like right after she got her kit, she hit shooting star. You never know where your customers or your team members are going to be coming from. And you just have to make sure you're consistently following up with people. And like you're saying they can only get so much. I'm telling you, we're in one of the best. I get that. We sound passionate. I haven't met you yet, Tandy. So I hope our passionate comes off as understanding we're trying to help and not like, we're really passionate about this topic, I think. What was I saying now? Oh, so follow-up is key, like Amanda said, and you have to figure out what that means for you. But there are customers that will buy $100 from me every month. There are customers that only buy from me once every 3 months, once every 6 months. But as long as you're constantly booking parties, because we are a party-based business and a party plan business, and as long as you are always finding new customers, you will be okay. You will be. I promise. I'm 4 years strong, and that's the only way I've done it. You want to add anything? Yeah, you can talk now. I was just like, I'm not sure if they understand the mute button is not on. They're having a conversation. So
Sabrina
Nate
doesn't want to talk to us?
I don't know. You want to say anything, Sabrina?
Hello.
That's what you're
I just came in. I was at work, and Jay just picked me up from work, so I don't know what's happened.
Well, we were just answering some questions, and that.
But yeah, what Cassie was saying, there are 3 directors here in a 4-mile radius. So the whole saturation thing, it's a myth that we tell ourselves, and we got to stop doing that.
Because we have a lot of other
Oh yeah. I mean, I'm just talking about directors in like a 4-mile radius, but of course we have people, other people on our team too that are just, like around us too.
I think I told Eric this morning that excuses are like rear ends and elbows. Everybody's got them. So
so we got to get out of our heads.
He means that in a very nice way.
Absolutely a nice way.
Don't let all those negative thoughts fill your head and make you not succeed, because there are plenty of people out there who need your Scentsy, and they need it from you. So, or me.
As we have sat here and spoke with Amanda and Daniel and working as a couple, remember, everyone has a different story. Amanda, she shared with you guys that she wants to quit her job. If you follow me, if you've been around for any time, you know that our vision is to move back to East Texas in 6 years in retirement, and that Scentsy is helping us get there, right? Like, y'all can't miss it if you follow me. I was telling Amanda that today. Because Amanda's like, I'm ready to quit now. Because she's not, but she's so passionate. So I told her, I was like, listen, Sabrina gets that way too, but Sabrina understands what she has to do to get there. And I said, make a plan, 3-4 year plan, whatever it is, and work it. Because if you had told me 4 years ago that I would be where I am today, I would have probably laughed at you, because no way. At 4 years ago, at this moment, I was a lead consultant. So I'm just saying, anybody can do it. And 4 years is it's a pretty fast time to get to superstar director, but there have been people that have done it a lot quicker. So we hope this has inspired you. And if you have any questions at all, please don't hesitate to ask. And Thursday is the man call, which you should really come, right? Why should they come, Nate? I'll put him on the spot. He doesn't like that.
Yeah, I don't really like that. But we're going to talk about man stuff. It's calling it man talk, but it's really going to be helping men help the Scentsy business, help their wives, kind of answer the question why I partnered with my wife in Scentsy. So if you haven't partnered with your wife in Scentsy, you should come, because then you'll find out all the reasons why you should.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so
yeah,
kind of like Nate, I don't want to give away too much. It's going to be tough for a lot of us. Because some of the stuff we're gonna talk about, I know I'm guilty of, I know Nate's guilty of, and I said God called us to be the leaders of our families, and that's really some of what we're gonna discuss, and I think it's gonna be great. I'm gonna try not to cry.
And we decided to let you guys do it on Zoom. That way we can make sure it's just guys, because that if we did it live, there could be a lot of wives getting on there and trying to get advice for their husbands, because we know, like, I'm like, Nate, can you?
And for those people, we can recommend Allison and Brian's video on that.
Yeah, but our goal here is to really build these relationships with the men in our family, in our Brave family. That way, when we do show up at reunion in California, you guys know each other the same way the girls do. Like, it's a great thing, and plus, you can learn a lot from each other. So
yeah, hey, we don't need to be any of them weird guys that, like, I don't know, dance around in elf outfits and stuff like that. Mr. Scott. By the way, I'm going to do that this year. I'm
I
going
was
to do
like,
it.
I think Scott did that. Why did you just say that?
And we loved it, by the
Hey,
way.
I thought it was great.
We loved it.
Hey, I'm a man of my word, and my best man from our wedding, you know, I told him, I said, you do this, I'll do this. And he
Right.
kept playing buddy after buddy after buddy just to see me make a fool of myself.
That was awesome.
We had like 300 something views on
We're
that.
going to do it together.
I mean, I loved it. I mean, just a quick anecdote from today. It just really shocked me about some of our customers. I had to go on base today to pick up a prescription. And I have my Scentsy hat on, and I'm sitting in there waiting, and these two elderly ladies asked me, well, does your wife sell Scentsy? And I looked at them, I went, no, I do. And their response was, men sell Scentsy?
Right.
I was like, yeah. So it was just this misconception out there that I just love beating down, that guys don't do it. So
Hey, we were sitting in my barbershop Saturday, and it was I probably did 60 haircuts Saturday. But at one point in time, I'm standing there cutting hair, and my other barber's there. And then I have one guy who's like, 6'7", 360 pounds, and right next to him's another guy that's 6'5", probably 400 pounds. And somebody made this little remark about, I guess my manlyhood of selling Scentsy, and I just pointed over to those two huge behemoth men sitting there, and I was like, and they do too. It got real kind of quiet for a minute, and then everyone started laughing, but I get you. Yeah, I loved your video. I think it's great. See, I don't even know you, but I feel like I know you because of Scentsy. That's great.
and I tell you what, those leggings actually were pretty comfortable. So, but
Right.
Butter, huh?
we won't go there on that one. So.
Well, we won't keep y'all any longer than an hour because that's what we try and do it. But this was a great call. We really appreciate it. And one more thing I just want to add is if you have a spouse, a significant other, and you do events or parties, I'm telling you, if they go and help you, you're going to sell a lot more. When we've done events and Nate goes alongside of me, I can sit myself back there, do something, or I can go get us a drink or food because he's going to sell a lot more than I do. I don't know how that happens. Probably because you're handsome and cute. We need to get on that compliment thing like the Head family there.
Dude, Nate's a stud.
Yeah, look at that Harley one. Yeah, it's because the girls are coming up buying Scentsy, right? Like, I'm not insecure. Do your thing. Like, sell us some
I think I
Scentsy.
did sell more when you were
did.
gone.
You did. So, like, if you do events, get your spouse on board. And, I mean, I know Casey. Casey takes her husband to events, and it's helpful. I'm at a point now, y'all have heard me say a lot, I don't do events, but I have a goal this year to do more events because all of a sudden I said, I've been using my children as an excuse not to go, but my kids are old enough now, they can go and hang out with me and actually help me. As a matter of fact, one last story, we were leaving church Saturday, and we met this new lady with a son that Noah loved, and I'm trying to get the car seat out of Nate's truck because I'd come back from World Tour to get my kids, and the kids are over by the van, and Noah's talking to this woman, telling her all about Scentsy. This is my phone number on the back of my car, and she needs wickless candles in her home. She's selling this woman on Scentsy. So, I mean, remember if you're a parent that you are being an example for them too. Just yesterday, my daughter tells me she's an adult now. I said, oh, yeah, you are. And she's 4. She said, yeah. I said, what are you going to do? How are you going to survive? How are you going to make money? She said, I'm going to sell Scentsy. I'm going to make new friends and sell Scentsy. Make new friends and sell Scentsy. That's just what we need to be doing. Okay, enough. I'm sorry. Daniel and Amanda, thank you so much. We appreciate it. This was a great call. Bye, everyone.